Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our forum discussion today. In this forum discussion today, we will be discussing on MRI scans. So, in order to discuss this, I've brought along invited four panelists who has professional insights on MRI. First, we have Prasaath, Henry, Mohd, Farhan, and Mohd Maliki Wahab to help us throughout this forum discussion. So, I would like to start off by helping the audience and myself get a better understanding on this MRI scan. So, that's where we have our panelist Mohd Maliki Wahab in order to help us get a better understanding on this. Mohd Maliki.
All right, thank you, Abner. So I'm going to talk regarding the concept of the MRI. So regarding the concept of the MRI that I'm going to explain, there will be three parts that I'm going to explain, which is the first one is what is MRI, and then the second one is how do we detect the proton in the MRI, and then the last one is how do we detect the magnetic field and produce the image of the MRI. Okay, let's start with what's the concept of the MRI. So the first thing is the MRI scanner is essentially a giant magnet. So the strength of the magnet is about 1.5 to 3 Tesla. So MRI uses magnetic fields and radio waves in order for them to measure how much water is in different tissues of the body. They will map the location of the water and then uses this information to generate a detailed image. These images are so detailed because our bodies are made up of around 65% of water. So the hydrogen, which is the second part that I'm going to talk about, is regarding the hydrogen atoms that were the molecules that made up the water. So it is very interesting regarding the water molecule because if we look closely towards the hydrogen atom, we're going to see the proton, which is the hydrogen proton. They will spin around on its own axis, which is known as precession. So this randomness changes can change when we put magnetic fields like MRI scanner just now. They are going to change the spin, the axis spin of the hydrogen proton, and then it will realign the hydrogen proton and it also will cause the hydrogen proton to make it faster when they are spinning. And then the last thing that I'm going to talk about is regarding how do we need to get an image from this hydrogen proton just now. So the image can be received when we flip the hydrogen protons in the brain. Like when, for example, in the brain. So when the RF pulse is turned off, the protons will flip back and realign along the magnetic field, which is the magnetic field that we had produced just now. So this proton will flip back and realign, so they'll give off energy. So different tissues in the body will give off different amount of energy. So to measure this emitted energy, we are going to require some special equipment that is going to be known as the coil. This coil will be placed at the body part that we are going to imaging. So the coil will act as an antenna and detects the released energy as electric current. And then this electric current will be transformed via the computer using Fourier transformation. It will be transformed into an image that we can see clearly. That is all from me regarding the concept of MRI. Thank you.
Thank you to our panelist Mohd Maliki, who has explained to us on what this MRI is. So now as the audience understand what MRI as the electromagnetic field, protons and energy levels in the body with the image. So let's head on to our main discussion of the forum, the disadvantage and the advantage of this MRI scan. So I'll be heading straight to Mohd Farhan, who's going to explain to us the advantages of MRI scan.
Thank you, Abner. There are 4 benefits of using MRI. First one is MRI is non-invasive and does not use radiation. Second, MRI contrasting agent is less likely to produce an allergic reaction, unlike X-ray and CT scan. Third, MRI gives extremely clear, detailed image of tissue structure. Fourth is MRI can determine if a cancer has spread. That's all benefit of MRI from me. Thank you.
Thank you to our panelist Mohd Farhan, who just explained to us the benefits of MRI scan. He stated you can see clear image and where the cancer is forming and less allergic reaction to X-ray and stuff. Thank you to Mohd Farhan for giving the audience the understanding of what advantages does MRI bring to the field. As everything, if there's an advantage, there's also a downfall to it. So we're going to go to the downfall and talk about the disadvantages that our panelist Henry Tharan will explain to us in detail the disadvantages of MRI scan.
Okay, thank you, Abner. I would like to list down 5 problem patient face when it comes to MRI scan. The first one is problems related to the small enclosed space. Space in the MRI scanner is very small and enclosed, making some people feel claustrophobic, even people who usually are not anxious about confined spaces. Some obese people have difficulty fitting within the scanner. The next problem patients face is magnetic field effects. Usually, MR is not used if people have certain material in their body, such as the pacemakers, because this magnetic field used in MRI can cause an implanted device to move, overheat, or malfunction. Then the third problem is reactions to the MRI constant agent, which is also known as gadolinium constant agent. This can cause headache, nausea, pain, and sensation of a cold at the injection site. These agents are much less likely to cause severe reactions than the iodinated constant agents used in conventional and CT. Such as they will face red or dark patches, it develop on the skin, or the skin may feel tight, or they can also face the organ malfunction. So, according to Bobby Joe Washington, she have an article called said that too many tests can cause lifelong harm. Then the fourth problem patient face is the cost, because CT scans are almost half the price of MRI. The average computed tomography scan costs around $1,200, while an MRI is about $2,000. And the last problem faced by the patient is the speed, because CT scan take much less time than MRI. The exact time required depend on whether you need a constant dye for the procedure, but MRIs always require more time for the scan. The typical CT scan lasts about 10 minutes, where MRI can take up to an hour or longer. Thank you.
Thank you to our panelist, Mr. Henry, who has explained to us the disadvantage of MRI scanning. Stated there were 5, I think. The cost, the time, the patches on the skin, the claustrophobic, and also the allergy reaction if you have any implants in your body. So our next panelist, Prasaath, who is going to talk to us on how he has done some research in order to overcome the disadvantages that MRI produce. Yeah, you can take it, Mr. Prasaath.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. As told by Mr. Henry just now, open MRI is invented to overcome the problem with patients with claustrophobia and obesity. But the images taken by an open MRI scan is low in resolution because the magnetic field is not as strong as it is in the traditional MRI system. However, image quality does not depend only on the magnetic field. So, to overcome the problem of low resolution images, skill of the technician taking the image and the quality of the software being used plays a major role, as it can significantly increase the resolution of MRI images. Physicians must be given proper training and knowledge about MRI, as it could contribute for better image interpretation, while technical skill can be learned and developed with experience. It is equally important to invest in good quality software that allows technicians and doctors to handle high resolution MRI image correctly. One of the key factors that must be taken into account is DICOM compatibility. DICOM, which stands for Digital Imaging and Communications in Medicine, is an internationally accepted format that enables you to view, store, retrieve, and share medical images. Since the images are of extremely high quality, they cannot be viewed using ordinary image viewers on your computer. It becomes necessary to invest in imaging software that specifically supports the DICOM format. Another thing is that the software must enhance the image by allowing you to alter its brightness, color, and contrast. It should permit you to zoom in on specific areas to study them without altering the image quality and resolution. By doing all of this, the setback of low image resolution can be overcome. That's all from me.
Thank you to our panelist, Mr. Prasaath, as he told an open MRI concept to help people with claustrophobic. So, but then in order to overcome the image quality, you have a device to enhance the quality. So it is, I see a good point stated there by Mr. Prasaath, our panelist. So I would like to end the forum by asking back Mr. Henry, as he stated the disadvantage, asking what is his thought after listening to the ideas suggested to us by our panelist, Mr. Prasaath.
Okay, so I believe that even though there are disadvantages by using this MRI scanning method, but this is very necessary in the medical field to identify what is the problem going under or inside the body and provide the correct treatment for the patients. Thank you.
Okay, that's all for our forum today. That's all as our discussion come to an end. I would like to say thank you to all our panelists, Mr. Henry, Prasaath, Maliki, and Muhammad Farhan. Thank you all of you all for being here today, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to our forum.